What is up? We're back, striving for holiness. It's Julia and Andrew, and we're getting Seminarian Dennis Gannon on our live stream today. And we're going to talk vocations, ladies and gents. After this, we'll be uploading it to YouTube because we have technical difficulties here. But we're going to get Dennis in here in a second.
Here, I'm going to go.
Den.
Don't call him that. He's not going to love that.
Oh, wah. Hopefully he knows. Yeah!
That was orange.
Your lighting is really red, I gotta say.
It's not helping. So, Dennis, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well. Could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are in your studies as a seminary for our diocese?
Sure. I'm just trying to fix this lighting, but it's not.
That's a lot better.
I think it's helpful that you're in a pink. Dennis is also at my house, as Bridget live stream, and he's in a room that's bright pink, which is not helpful.
Well, my name is Dennis Gannon. I am a seminarian for the Diocese Rockville Center. I'm in my 7th year of formation. Right now I'm a pastoral year, thank you, out at St. Mary's in East Islip. So I've been there full-time since September, but I was there over the summer as well doing hospital ministry training at Good Samaritan Hospital, but I just lived there. I was in residence, as it's called, but now I've been there full-time since September. It's been really great for me, and I'm very happy.
What's your favorite part of being on pastoral year? So that's just like the year where you kind of see what the life of a priest is like, right?
Yes, it's kind of like an internship, you could say. My favorite part is just it's being with the people, like classes. It's all theoretical, and even though we go out on our apostolates, once a week, it's not the same. You're not living with these people. You don't see them day to day. They don't see you day to day. You don't learn about them. They don't learn about you. So being doing the ministries, serving masses, serving altar servers, training altar servers, working with the school kids, even painful stuff like wakes or graveside services, it's so rewarding, and it's so affirming to me in my vocation, because it really this is what I'll be doing, and I've been loving it, and it's been great, and I'm very happy. I still look very orange.
You get to be involved in ministry and enjoy the fruits of what you've endured through your process of not endured. I mean, that makes it sound bad, but you're,
it feels that way sometimes.
Towards the priesthood,
Yeah, studies are tough.
Studies are tough.
Yeah, I'm getting 2 master's degrees and a church degree right now. I already got my BA. Yeah, so it's a lot. So I don't miss that right now. I don't miss the papers and the final. I was at the seminary on Friday to see my advisor and to see my friends. And it was finals week there, and I was like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" "Oh, final. Oh, it's terrible. Can't relate."
What a shame.
What a shame.
They didn't think it was as funny as I did, but I thought it was hilarious.
And what are your summers like? I know over the summers you've had different summer assignments and things.
Yes.
School year is academic, but what about your summers?
It depends. So usually you're at a parish. Your summer assignment is usually you're at a parish somewhere on the island. And it's just basically what I'm doing. You serve masses, you work with people. If there's a school while it's open in the beginning, you work there. It's just kind of getting flashes of it. But I've done, I did what's called CPE, Clinical Pastoral Education. Did that last summer at the hospital. So I took classes 2 days a week, the CPE itself classes. And I was at a hospital 3 days a week, shadowing priests, talking to people, just doing stuff like that, which, was very emotionally draining and physically draining, but also, incredibly rewarding, because you cannot learn that in the classroom. That's really something that you have to get hands-on, practical experience. You can't learn. This is what you said to somebody in a hospital bed from a teacher in a classroom. You have to go and able to learn it yourself.
Yeah.
And then the summer between college seminary and major seminary, I was out in Nebraska, actually, at the Institute of Priest Formation, IPF. I was there for, I want to say it was 11 or 12 weeks. It it began, well, about a weekend, there was an 8-day Ignatian Silent Retreat, which actually was the best I've ever been in my life, and it really, really helped me. And just the classes, prayer, conference, and stuff like that throughout the entire time there. I get to meet guys from throughout the entire country and from Canada. It was a very good experience for me, just meeting all these guys and just building fraternity and seeing how we're both similar and different, how our seminaries work. It was funny, you know, seeing the differences between like different seminaries, different things we've done, where different guys are from. So it was a nice experience, and a lot of guys who have gone. It's funny with IPF. Either you love it or you hate it. There doesn't seem to be like oh yeah, it was so fun. It was either like I loved it, and I some of my friends who are like I hated it every minute of that 10 weeks. So it really is. It's different guys do different things out of it. But I personally liked it a lot. I drove out there actually. I drove from Long Island to Nebraska. Drove there over the course of 3 days by myself to Chicago, and then picked somebody up. Then on the way back, I was with somebody, so it was 2 days. But it was a lot, but I'm happy to have my car out there because you can't walk nowhere.
There's no, yeah, you're
not in Nebraska.
Yeah, but what I thought here.
Sorry?
I said I totally lost my train of thought here. What I was going to ask something about Nebraska. You mentioned the silent retreat.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that? Because I've never been on one.
Nor have I.
I've been on grounds of silent retreats going on, and it's stressful because I'm like, can't say words, can't say anything. I don't know what to say, but I've never.
I had been on, like, in theory, silent retreats in college seminary, but college seminary, it wasn't silent. But this one, like, I mean, there's a great book by Cardinal Sarah called The Power of Silence. It's about, like, we need to be free from the oppression of noise. And it really is incredible. Like, I gave my phone, my computer to my spiritual director, so I couldn't be tempted to touch those. Mm-hmm. And I said, besides him, I didn't talk to anybody for the entire week. And it really was incredible. Like, how... Oh, jeez, I see some of my friends are in here. Oh, it's the guy I haven't seen since high school. Hey, Matt.
Are these all...
And
love you, Dennis.
And it, like, so we had 2 conferences a day. I think I did like 4 holy hours or 2 holy hours a day. Either way, it was a lot. Like, my spiritual director, I meet with him. No, it was 4 weeks. I meet with him every day over the 8 days, and he would give me 4 scripture verses, and he would say, this is what you can look at during your holy hours. That's it. No rosaries, no liturgy hours, no spiritual reading. It's these 4 scripture verses, and that is it. You can pray and look at these. And I mean, when I first heard that, I was like, what? I can't do that.
I can't
read
a rosary.
Exactly, yeah. So like I couldn't do anything. But having limited options, I began to delve so deeply into those 4 verses, or because I'd do 1 per thing, or I just would just silently just kind of pray and talk to God. And it really is incredible. Like, something I told other people, and like on this retreat, like, I had a few sins that I confessed, but like they were still like weighing on me. And you guys ever read or seen The Crucible? Yeah, you know that one, the guy gets pressed to death, Giles Corey.
Yes.
So I almost like it. So over these 8 days, it was like remove those stones from my chest. That's really a way I talk about it, because it really, like, it would weigh on me, and I was finally able to come to grips with it and kind of talk to my doctor about it. And I kind of realized, like, you know, the Lord has forgiven me. Why can't I forgive myself?
Yeah.
That's kind of like, because I realized I would go back to it and just kind of use a way to, like, to beat myself up in ways that weren't healthy. And like, I even changed, like, so when the Eucharist is not confected, but like, you know, this is my body given up for you, and the priest lifts it up, or the same thing. Like, I used to say, Lord, I'm not worthy to be in your presence. Please give me, I am a sinner. Which on the surface sounds fine, but I came to realize that I was doing that not to glorify God, but to put myself down.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy. That's not good. So now I say, my Lord and my God. Or, well, I say, Done meus et Deus meus, and then I say, my Lord and my God. Because I'm weird like that. But
it's your thing. It's the way we all have our own ways that we converse and talk to God.
Yeah.
That's your thing, and like it just. It's like I said, it's different for everyone.
It's your thing.
So it's
Yeah.
your thing.
That's encouraging. I feel like there's been sins that I've confessed and I still feel guilty afterwards, and I'm like, did I not confess it right? Because
do I need to go again?
So many people walk out of confession like, I feel amazing, and I'm like, sometimes I still feel really bad.
Yeah.
And it's kind of encouraging to hear that you can pray through that.
Yeah.
To forgive yourself, because it's definitely, I mean, stuff I've worked through, but like I walked out of confession, I'm like, I don't feel better. Like, thanks God, but I don't feel better.
You're like, I am forgiven, but I still feel a little bit,
Yeah, there's that guilt of like, almost like, not like you think this explicitly, but like implicit, kind of like he couldn't forgive me for doing these things. Like it's there's a great quote I saw, honestly, I think on like Twitter, that was like, the devil before we sin tells us no big deal, and after we sin he tells us can never be forgiven. And I think that, because especially like in our culture nowadays, like there isn't forgiveness. There isn't, like, another quote I saw on Twitter was that secularism offers no mercy. Secularism offers no judgment but shows you no mercy. And that and that's so ingrained in how we are today. Like, I did this bad thing and now it defines me forever.
Right.
And that was definitely how I felt that was probably like a better part of 2 years. And this retreat really helped me. Also, like, helped me to pray and helped me to just kind of like, to not be afraid of not having technology, not having people talking to me all the time. I started to remember things I hadn't thought of in years. I actually kept a list going. I was like, things that popped into my head. And when I FaceTimed my family like a week and a half later, I was like, guys, I thought of all the stuff I remembered. And so like, it really, like,
and so they give you something.
Like, it was, and it also kind of helped me realize, like, wow, before we had phones and TVs and computers, I can see how people were able to remember things a lot easier because you didn't have a choice. Yeah. You had to remember things because what else were you going to do?
That's like my grandpa. My grandpa has the best memory ever.
Yeah.
How do you just remember these things?
Yeah. I have a goldfish memory. So, like, I'd be a great confessor, but it's not to go with other things.
It's also like the oral tradition of the church. Like,
yeah.
Most of it was written down, but like the oral tradition of the church, and the mass, how the mass was said, and everything. Just carries down from our ancestors and all the way back from the apostles and Jesus, which is pretty awesome.
It's all supposed to be memorized. Well, that's like that's how the rosary got started, was just like memorizing this prayer and repeating it over and over again. But what was something you didn't expect out of?
I'm sorry?
What was something you didn't expect out of your formation so far in seminary?
It is amazing to me, like, even now, like, how little I know. Like, and when I started seminary, like, I knew I was going to learn a lot, but like, I didn't know, like, so much. And even now, like, I continue to learn so much. And just like, whenever I think, oh, okay, I have a grip of things, no. I'm going to continue to learn. Like, I learned, like, I didn't know what Latin Mass was until I was like probably a junior in college. And I am in a Discord.
Are you also in the Discord?
Yes.
My phone kept turning off. I was in a Discord. I'm in a Discord of people I met on Twitter, and like, just like the things they casually say in this thing, I'm kind of like, wait, what? Should I know that? Is that true? Is that supposed to be common knowledge? Or like in my classes, like, I don't know if some of my seminary friends are still in here. I saw, but why does this keep turning off? I saw, like, we're in class and like the professors will say things like, oh yeah, and then this happens. I don't say it aloud, I think to myself like, oh yeah, that happens. I totally knew that. I didn't know that. So like, and I mean, obviously, like, 2,000 years of tradition and scripture and magisterium, I'm not going to know everything, but like I've been in seminary for 7 years, and so often feel like Plato, in which I know that I know nothing. That is about it.
What about
Wait,
I
comment
like-
on that first.
Yeah.
But I mean, this means every day you have to learn something new,
Exactly.
and every day is an adult day, and it's not like you're learning just like facts about the world. You're learning facts about what you're striving for in your vocation and striving towards holiness.
Strive for holiness.
Striving for holiness.
Strive for holiness.
Plug. If you are new to Striving for Holiness from Dennis's page, sorry, continue. Plug.
But I want to rewind a little bit. So, rewind you to when you really didn't know anything. No, I'm kidding.
That was yesterday.
What your discernment, like, like, when did you ever have like what was your aha moment? Like, this is my next step after high school, because you entered seminary right out of high school, right?
I did. I'm a lifer. Well, the only person more than me would be like Joe Krug, who's a super lifer. He went to high school seminary. Which hi Jean Marie, miss you too. I'm happy. I find this interesting. So like a lot of priests will tell you, a lot of seminarians will tell you that their vocation was not a very sudden thing. It was a very gradual thing over many years. Mine was very sudden. I describe it like as God like smacked me upside the head, which I needed. I was 13. I was a little, punk kid who I knew everything. I hated going to church. I hated going to mass. I believed in God, but like I didn't care. I was basically like most teenagers nowadays. And I went to Chaminade, which great school, highly recommend. And yeah, Andrew, yeah. And
Firebird.
and I was sitting in religion class watching. I remember the video we're watching. I saved the video to this day. It's To Be a Priest by, I think it's by a Chicago priest. And I was watching the video and I didn't care at all. And I was barely paying attention. And then my mind was totally clear of any thought besides, I'm going to be a priest. My next thought was, huh? But like, it almost as though I hadn't heard it. It was something I hadn't thought. It was something I had heard it. And I was so confused. So I kind of like tried to like avoid it, but it wasn't working, because how do you avoid that thought? So I go to my mom. This was like a Tuesday or something, and I asked her like, "Hey, are we going to church Sunday?" She went like, "Yeah," expecting a fight, and I went, "Oh, good, yeah," basically that. And she honestly like put her hand on my forehead, like, "Are you okay? Are you sick? Why do you want to go to church?" Yeah. So then we go to church, and I receive the Eucharist, and I go to kneel down. And literally, I just went, can I get like a yes or no on this? Then I realized, oh, it doesn't work this way. So I started doing this weird thing I've never done before called praying. And I started getting involved at Chaminade, joining service groups, talking to the brothers there. They're great to me. I met with Monsignor McDonald, the late, great Monsignor McDonald, who was my pastor for the last years of his life. And I remember going to meet him, and he had no clue who I was. He didn't go to church. I didn't go to church willingly. And so I didn't like volunteer and stuff. And I sat down at his desk, and he was like, "So, what can I do for you?" And I went, "Well, Monsignor, I think I want to be a priest." And he like went back and was like, "That's great!" And we talked for like 2 hours. And I kept discerning, I kept praying. And the more I did, the more I was like, yeah, I think this is, what I'm being called to do. I don't know, obviously, but more I did, like, started going to seminary stuff. I met Stephen Rooney and other seminarians. He was now deacon. He invited me to Douglas for the first time. And junior year comes around, college applying time, and I was kind of like, yeah, I want to go to seminary. And I got had a career night at Chaminade, which y'all have to go to. I went to the office of the dean. I was like, "Hi, I know career night's mandatory, but like I know what I'm gonna do. It's not the thing. I don't think I need to go." He's like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I want to go to seminary." He was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're dismissed." Okay. Did not see that coming. Actually, Mr. Crucio, who I've seen since. I spent time in Notre Dame, which is his parish, and he drove us around in his pickup truck with the Eucharist in the back of it. I was out his driver's side window, clanging the bells. I found that on Twitter actually a while ago. Someone was like, "This is so crazy." And I was like, "Ah, it's me." But and then I applied to seminary. I got in, thanks be to God. Made Douglason for 4 years. Douglason's a minor seminary, the college seminary. Graduated there in 2019. 2 years of major seminary. Well, 2 odd years of major seminary thanks to COVID. But it's been great. And now I'm a pastoral year, and pastoral year has been nothing but affirmation for Dawson priesthood. I'm so happy. I love it so much. And, you know, after this year, I have 2 years left. I'll be a deacon in 2022, I think, 2023. And then a priest in 2020. Yeah, it's in 2024. Priest 2024. And I can't believe I have 2.5 years left. Honestly, like I've been saying like 6 or 7 years for so long, like, oh crap, I have 2 years of this left. And that's.
When you said that to me over the summer, because we were talking about your formation, I was like, how long you got left? Which is like the big question for seminarians. And you're like, oh yeah, like 3 years. Are you kidding?
Imagine being me.
should we get to the point?
Oh yeah, I mean over the summer while we were talking.
Can we get to the point about one of the many reasons? I mean, I've known Dennis since I'd probably say last April.
Yeah.
Started doing masses, like COVID masses, like live stream from Notre Dame. That was a lot of fun. And then all throughout COVID, putting on like not having masses said and doing them with like Father Scalar and the canons in Glen Cove, and that was a lot of fun. That's how I grew to know you and how I know you today, and now even more so, I know you even further. But
and so,
yeah, this is like.
And then Dennis and I met when I was in high school, because I'm a couple years younger than Dennis. So he was a counselor at a diocesan discernment camp, which I had gone to. Okay, it was for all high schoolers. So I had gone and became friends with Dennis, and then started going to young adult things as I got older, and and then he invited me last summer to go to this young adult mass. And I was like, yeah, sure, I love hanging out with Dennis. And then you said, I'll be serving, of course. And I was like, I don't have anyone to sit with. And like, I don't know why that was my biggest anxiety going to a young adult mass. But I was like, I won't know anyone. I'm not going to have anyone to sit with. I'm just going to be all by myself. And I was like super anxious to go. And I was like, I don't really know about this. Okay, I guess I'll go. Dennis was nice enough to invite me, and I'll see Dennis, so that's fine. I'll go. So I pulled up. I'm all set to go. And I was like, I don't know anyone. So I'm like talking to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm freaking out. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I changed my mind. My mom was like, tough. I don't care. Go to mass. So then this guy wearing suspenders and had his arm in a sling.
And of course, this guy is always on time.
Was extra early, just like me. Sit with Jesus. Thanks, Mom. I could have sat with Jesus, but you got out of the car next to us. And that's where I met Andrew. So Dennis is, in fact, the reason and how Andrew and I met.
It's pretty awesome.
And thus, in our wedding.
It's always...
That would be so fun. Imagine if we asked you to be a groomsman while we were on the live stream.
I don't think that would have been fair. I think Dennis was he would have ended the call.
I gotta go.
I gotta.
I don't think I told you. It's actually funny because like Father Scalera like half jokingly like told Harrison and I like you need to invite people who are gonna sleep outside because we didn't know who was coming or not. So I was like, okay, who can I ask? Oh yeah, Julia. I talk to her sometimes. Yeah, sure, she'll want to come. And clearly, there was a plan because you two met and Andrew destroyed my dreams having him after seminary. But
but then like a few months later, I'm just gonna go a little bit. A few months later, I get out of the car. Were you coming out of the house?
No, he was coming here.
We both got to to Julia's house at the same time.
Oh yeah.
We're like, so you're gonna enter seminary? And I'm like, what? And then from then on, rest is history. But but the history's still going. But yeah, though. So again, that's one of the reasons why we're all here, and we love you, Dennis, wholeheartedly.
Hey,
and
we're sorry that Andrew's not seminary.
I'm sorry too, but
I'm too, but you know, it's okay.
I'm not sorry either. I'm sorry, God, for that.
So I want to know, what's the funniest thing people have asked you as a seminarian? Like, besides like the usual, like, oh, father, and then you're like, no, I'm a seminarian, not a priest. Like,
Have
what's,
they
like,
asked
the
you for
funniest?
confession before?
Yes, it has happened to me. One time I was on the steps of St. Patrick's Cathedral in the city where my cast were hanging out like prayer cards with people, and she was like, "Oh, Father, can I get a quick confession?" I was like, "Oh, I'm actually not a priest yet," and he looked at me like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm not," but they are right inside. So I told him that. Okay, one thing that comes to mind is my first summer assignment. I was at St. Christopher's in Baldwin. And that does happen also, Alex, yes. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a priest. There's a priest over there. And we were like doing this, like, I think it was like a Memorial Day parade or something like that. And there were Boy Scouts in the parish behind us. It was me and Father Brandon O'Brien, like in the front of this little section. We were just talking to the Boy Scouts. And they somehow brought up Fortnite, because like this was summer of 2018, I want to say.
17, 18, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, me and my friends in the seminary play that. And these two kids were so beyond shocked that I knew what Fortnite was and I played it. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, these guys play squads. And this kid goes, wow, what other like normal people things do you guys do? I was like, what? Dude, I'm a person. People forget that. And
Seminarians are people too. So
yeah. Well, priests are higher than the angels, but I'm just a seminarian, so I am, to quote Gina Hackett, lay trash.
Shout out, Gina.
Shout out, Gina. Love you. A lady once told me that she had shoes older than me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shoes old.
She has shoes older than me.
To tell you that you're not old enough to be a priest?
I think she asked how old I was, and I was like, I was like 20. She was like, oh, I have shoes older than you, and I was like, okay. I think I laughed. I was like, what does that mean?
I told them that we're engaged. They're like, but you're so young. So,
Yeah, I mean, when Pope Francis came to town my freshman year of college, I was at St. Pat's. We got lucky, got to go to that, and I was in my Catholic kind of because I got there like it was like 3 or 4 hours early, so I was kind of like just exactly. I don't know. It's a flex. I don't know. I was kind of like meandering around, and this dude was like, "Hey, can I interview you?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. What's up?" And I forget what news article he was from. He was like, "Just to make sure, are you a priest or seminarian? Because I'm okay with infant baptism, but if for ordination, yeah, I'm not okay with." Because I was like 18. I was like, "It's funny. Good for you." But yeah, people also just kind of tell you things. So okay, for example. Also when Pope Francis was in town, we were walking from Penn Station to St. Pat's, a group of us in our Catholics. And so he comes like, oh, are you guys priests? Like, oh, not yet, but we're getting there. Oh, good. And my aunt was a nun. Oh, that's so great. Cool. Yeah, she was killed by death squads in Nicaragua. And we're literally like, sorry? What? And she was like, yeah, somebody just walked away. We're like, what just happened? I am so confused.
We're like laughing because of uncomfortableness.
That's so
Yeah. I never understood why she told us that and then just walked away. Like, what do you want? We're sorry? Do you think we know her? I don't.
That's like the parking lot. Like
That's absurd.
It was just so weird.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it was just so weird.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
We were out. We were getting coffee with a good priest friend of ours, our old pastor, and he was talking about how when he's out in his clerics, people will just come up to him and ask him to chat. And we were like, oh yeah, ha. We've been out with him a couple times and it had never happened. And as though on cue, some guy came over and he was like, hey, can I talk to you? And like he really looked like he was gonna rough him up. It was not like, oh, Father, can I have a confession? It's like, hey, let's talk.
I need to talk to you. Hey, Father, I know we gotta talk.
Apparently, like, this guy just like, and so then we my family and I kind of gave him their space and everything, and this guy just like wanted a confession and was like super nice and like thanked him for being a priest basically. But like I was kind of like, Father McCartney, do you need backup? Like, are you okay?
Probably trying to take him.
From the priests that I've known, I've heard, I'm not going to name names, but one of them was called on a pouring day to go and give last rites
I love the story.
to a snake or a dog. I think it was both.
It was a dog.
It was a dog. It was a dog.
But
And,
sorry, go ahead.
and then I think he went on to like ask, he's like to explain that he can't give the dog last right, but the people were very heartbroken. So he said a prayer and basically almost held a little service for the dog, but the family was like very, very happy, and then they gave him a little compensation. Of course, he gave it right back to the church, but like it's just like.
But then this past son apparently said, "Father, what's the church's view on snakes?"
Oh yes.
And the priest is kind of like, I mean, as an
They're
adult,
there.
fine, but like, why? And he was like, well, can I show you something? So he like brought him out to his garage in the rain and asked him to bless his pet snake. He just like pulled this like gigantic like anaconda out of its bag.
But,
it was like, hey, father.
But like I'm just saying, like the thing is, like, at least people aren't afraid to ask a priest for a blessing.
Yeah.
Again, this isn't known knowledge. People don't know that you can't. Like, some people know that you can have last rites for an animal. Some people don't know that, and then again, people ask these questions. So.
Oh, interesting. My mom wants to know. Dennis, have you encountered hostility or prejudice whilst in clerics or going out as a seminarian?
March for Life, maybe, because I've encountered that just as people. But continue your thing.
I don't know if I can tell this story on live stream. It was from the March for Life. It happened publicly. Like I'll just say it. We were on the March for Life, and we were just walking in our group, and you know those dudes in the March for Life with the huge signs, the bullhorns, who are kind of jerks. He's just yelling about how, if I recall correctly, Catholic priests cause abortions. Also, all Catholic priests are sodomites. That's his big thing. All Catholic priests are sodomites. And this one guy who's now a priest looks at the rector and just goes, "They caught us." And we all lost it. This is a very funny moment. When the Pope was in town, we were walking to St. Pat's from Penn Station. We could see this other dude with a sign, and I just hear him yell. It was like, "Something, something, the Pope, except Jesus Christ." And we were all kind of like, okay, we're gonna go over this way now. I'm trying to think if I ever felt like any kind of hostility. Thankfully, no. Nothing like, no, like, you know, people yelling at me or like kind of any kind of like anger. Thankfully, I've had some great experiences with people, like just strangers. Like, so, I teach CCD on Tuesdays at my pastoral parish, and I was coming back from it, and I was hungry, so I stopped at McDonald's. Now we're my clerics. To teach sentence, I was like, "Oh, late, so I'm just gonna wear this to McDonald's." And I go over there. The door was locked, so I go to the drive-through. And I'm walking back. It's late. Like, hey! I'm like, "Well, look, it's late in the drive-through." Going, Father, I need you to pray for me. I was like, "Absolutely." I remember her name and everything. I was like, "What's your name?" "Oh, it's this. Oh, I'll definitely keep you in prayer. You pray for me too." "Oh, will too." Like, just touch me on. Like, this lady was like, "Oh, just please pray for me." I was like, "Hmm."
A nice thing. And like talking to like sister, I've talked to Sisters of Life about this as well, and like the clerics or like a nun's habit like kind of says to the world like, "I'm here for you."
Oh yeah, it's a witness.
It is a witness, and it's like universally like, especially like the Sisters of Life always talk about this, like their habit like really draws people to them because like people something right in the middle of Manhattan, like
yeah. It's so not of this world.
Yeah, and it says to people like, and even if they're not even religious and don't know what they stand for or who they are, like you still see them as like someone different and someone that like can be counted on. So that is like witness that like you can go out near clerics and people know that guy can pray for me.
And the people for prayers, and sometimes it's the prayer that will, you know, it's that one act of asking someone for a prayer, and then God works marvelous in His marvelous, you know, like eventually, you know.
Yeah. It's an outward sign of our inner in most like demeanor or in most like. But the reason I wear black is because I am mourning the life I had that is now gone, and yeah, I'm happy with that. You know, like I'm not here for this world. I'm here for the next world, but I'm happy to help you get to that next world if you are, willing to work with me.
Work with me.
If you're willing. So, talking about, being a seminarian, what qualities do you think like a young man should have to enter seminary? Like if someone's discerning and thinking this might be for me, what would you say to them? What qualities, what advice, what do you think?
In terms of like what qualities, like obviously you need to be mentally, capable. You need to be ordered in the correct way. Something I learned is that like something that people don't think about is like you should want to be a father, like a dad. You should want to have a family. You should want to be married, because the priesthood is not running away from marriage. The priesthood is an alternative. It's not like, oh, I can't do that, so let's go be a priest.
Yeah.
And actually, like if a man is like if he's not able to have, it's actually an impediment to holy orders. You can get dispensed, obviously, but like it's like they don't want people like, oh, I can't have kids or I can't get married. So I'll just be a priest. That's not the point. And like that's something I struggled with when I was younger, because like I very much want a family. I very much want to get married. I want to have kids. And like for a while, I was like, is this something I should be a priest? And IPF really helped me to be like, no, that's, of course you want to have a kid. Of course you want to get married. You're a man. That's normal. It'd be weird if you didn't want to do that. And that cross, it can help you because it helps you relate to other people. It is a sacrifice, and sacrifice must have to be made. And I once had somebody ask me, like, you want to have kids, you want to get married, why are you in seminary? Like that must be terrible. And my answer to him was like, you're gonna get married, right? Yeah. You're gonna have kids, right? I hope so. And one day you're gonna make a sacrifice for that family that you don't necessarily want to do, but you do anyway because that's what's best for them. He was like, yeah. I was like, well, here we are. You definitely like you can't be like afraid of women. And that might sound ridiculous to you guys, but like that's actually a problem some guys have. What?
Didn't you go to an all-boys school?
Yes. I wasn't afraid of them. We despise them. There's a difference.
I'm out.
Girl.
But the thing is, like, as of course as a priest, you are called to be a leader of the people. So you have a bigger and broader family in the church.
Yes.
You are a shepherd. You will become a shepherd of the flock. And
exactly. Yeah.
So you'll be a part of everyone's family, and
yes,
in your parish and in your throughout your.
Yes. I believe it was in my first the handbook of my minor seminary. Celibacy allows you to be open to everyone without being exclusive to anyone, which I think is a very big thing. About like most parishioners are women, like it's like the majority. So like if you are not comfortable around women, which some guys aren't, you got to sort that out before you come to seminary. Other quality, I mean, just be normal. Like I'm weird in my own ways. Like I'm a nerd. I'm a history person, but like I also, I like to think I'm at least relatively normal. And if you cannot interact with people, if you are not approachable as a person, that is an impediment. Because as a priest, people need to be able to approach you to ask for a blessing or to ask you to baptize their kid or to be like, hey, can I just talk to you about something? If they look at you like, oh, I don't want to talk to him, then you cannot serve your family as a priest. You can say mass, you can do that stuff, but like saying mass is obviously important and prayer is important. Like those the two most important, but like you can do those things in a monastery.
Yeah.
The diocesan priesthood, you need to be able to interact with people every day, all the time. And if you can't do that, then you need to think of a different vocation.
Yeah. Be a monk.
Yes, go join the Carthusians. I heard they're great and they don't talk to anyone. So that's like your plan. Go to
silent retreat. There you go.
There you go, a lifelong silent retreat.
Yeah. But it's interesting what you said about like wanting a family, because I've talked to so many people. Like I was talking to a friend of mine who's not Catholic, and I said something about Catholic priest, this and that, and you know, not getting married or something along those lines. And my friend was like, wait, Catholic priests can't get married? And I was like, no, like that's like our thing. What do you mean? You didn't know that?
I don't know that, yeah.
And he was saying like, that's such a sad life, and like, don't they want to have families? And like, your priests are all just people who don't want families then. And I was like, no to that too.
Lies.
No to that too, because like, and I went like probably a little too theological for him because he wasn't Catholic and he's an atheist. But I was like, listen, no, like sacrificial love is part of any vocation. So if that sacrificial love is gonna be, you know, us when we're parenting one day, or gonna be you as a diocesan priest getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go give someone last rites when you really like that's all sacrifice, and that's all love.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another video that Rock Center made a while ago, and I remember Father Brian Barr's in it, and he was talking about, he was saying, like, you know, people always ask me, like, don't you want a family? And my answer is, I do have a family. But my parish, that they are my family. Everyone, like, these people, like, I don't have my physical family, but I have this huge family that, like, and I love them, they love me. So it's not easy, don't get me wrong. Like, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. But it's worth it, because I can do things as a celibate man that Andrew can't do as a married man, and just as he is a married man, no, engaged man in the future, that I cannot do. So like, it's different, you know. It's my lot in life, in the best way possible, and it's what I do. And is it easy? No, but nothing in life worth doing is ever easy, and I'm okay with that.
It's so true. It is really true. So do you have any final?
No. I have some fun questions. I have my fun questions.
Oh boy, fun questions.
Not rapid fire, but I need an answer. Okay. If you had, who's your favorite saint?
Either Aquinas or Augustine.
Okay. If you
His Peter Dragon's name is Augustine.
My Peter Dragon's name is Augustine.
Yeah, and priests can own pets, of course. Some people don't know that as well. Also, besides Aquinas and Augustine, if you had to have a relic, what would you have? Again, not the true cross, but from a saint, from a saint after Christ. Like in a beautiful reliquary that you could have as a priest on your desk or on your altar while you celebrate Mass. What would you have there every day with you?
So my confirmation is Michael, St. Michael the Archangel, and there's a traveling relic ship. There's traveling relic show, like a traveling relic thing, which has hundreds of relics, and they had a piece of the rock in the cave that St. Michael the Archangel appeared in. So I would say that, because seeing that was amazing to me, because my confirmation saint is Michael, so that was really cool for me to see.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And like, you don't think about having like relics of angels. So
Yeah.
Awesome to be able to have that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Rosary or DMC?
Rosary.
Night prayer or morning prayer? Again, I know it goes into the broad range of
I would say night prayer because of the examination of conscience.
Do I got anything else for you? Ooh, this is a good one because we both enjoy the Latin Mass. A lot of incense happens there.
Yes.
With a nice, almost like flowery, powdery smell, or do you like the wood chips?
I like the wood chips.
What?
It's manlier.
What?
I guess I like the wood chips.
The wood chips? Okay.
Feels manlier, yeah.
That's my rapid fire.
I set off the fire alarms for a funeral at the pastoral year parish, and I have not lived that down yet. But yeah.
Rite of passage.
Rite of passage. We couldn't turn it off for like 15 minutes. It was terrible. But yeah, that's the mark I leave on that parish.
That's horrible.
I know.
Any more rapid fire?
I got nothing else, but...
All right. Do you have any parting words or wisdom?
Or does anyone have any questions?
Or anything? Anyone? Any comments? Any comments from you?
Should I wait for them to talk?
I don't talk while they're thinking.
Okay. So, for any young man, I don't know if we got 9 viewers, but like for anybody who is watching this or knows somebody thinking about being, trying discerning a vocation, I have never, in my 7 years of seminary, known anybody who has regretted entering seminary. I know plenty of guys who have left. Like, that happens. But none of them have ever said to me, or even I've heard, like, I regret entering seminary. I regret doing this. No. You maybe lose a year or two, but, like, you don't lose it. It's just part of discerning. It's part of formation. And there's stuff to learn, stuff to see. There's stuff you make friendships. You grow in the faith. So if you're on the edge, or you know somebody's on the edge, give them a push, because it has been, I've not once looked back in 7 years, and I don't think I ever will. So.
Prayer.
I'm sorry?
A push and a prayer.
A push and a prayer. A P and a P.
I like that.
I don't like that. That sounds wrong.
I like a push and a prayer, but I don't like
A push and a prayer. We'll keep that one.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Hope you're doing well, bud.
All right, then I think. Well, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna do a nice outro.
You did the intro.
I'm loud though.
Do our outro.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us today, Dennis. If anyone else has any closing remarks while we're wrapping this up, it's an honor to have you here, Dennis. You're
Honored to be here.
You're a great man. You're going to be a great priest, and you're a great friend. So thank you so much for being on the show. And you'll be able to find this on YouTube right after this, and on our Instagram right after.
I think I'm doing my own classes. Pray for the students who may have vocations. So our friend Teresa, who works at school to Dennis's high school, which is all boys, so Teresa teaches at a co-ed school that's run by the same priests. Oh, boo! So she asked for prayers for the students who may be discerning vocations. So we pray for all those who are discerning vocations through the intercession of John Vianney. And I think we will wrap up. St. Mary's and St. Peter's are blessed to have Dennis for his pastoral year. You are blessed. He's good. Thank you so much for sharing. From Gianna. Thank you, Gianna. So we will wrap up, and we will be back next week. Andrew and I will be back. We're going live to discuss the final days of the St. Andrew Novena leading up to Christmas. Talk a little bit about Advent, a little bit about Christmas season, and what's to come. So we will be going live next week. So stay tuned, and we will see you very soon.
Thank you all.
God
bless.
God bless you all.